Good morning, soldiers. This is Sergeant Merrill, and today we're going to be talking about Medal of Honor 2010 and what some of the problems with it were that stopped it from spreading its wings. America. Now, not everybody played Medal of Honor 2010. In fact, I think a lot of people skipped this game over because there were a lot more popular games going on at the moment, obviously Call of Duty being one of them. But there were a lot of problems with this game that stopped it from becoming successful, that stopped it from competing with Call of Duty, and stopped people from taking this title seriously. And I know a lot of people hear about it. You know, they hear this new Medal of Honor coming out, they hear all of the excitement for it, but they're not sure why the last Medal of Honor wasn't something that they picked up or even really heard about. And there were a lot of issues with this game. And it would probably take about an hour to sit here and go through all of them. Now, that's not really fair, though, because every game has something wrong with it. Call of Duty is a very successful series, but there is something wrong, a series of things wrong with each game that comes out. Each iteration of the series, I can name you some things that I think they could have done better. So it's not really fair to just nitpick every single thing to say why this game didn't become successful. But there are a few things that the games at the current time were doing that became the standard, and Medal of Honor 2010 just didn't pick up on it. And one of the biggest ones for me is movement. Things felt clunky when you were playing Medal of Honor 2010, and one of the biggest things that I have a gripe with in some of these older games is that when you're sprinting, you can't sidestep. It's like you're on train tracks. And if you look back at the more successful shooters at this time in 2010, they picked up on that movement, that the freedom of movement that people really started to enjoy. And Call of Duty was the biggest one to pick up on that. You know, they gave you this range of motion that just felt awesome. It just felt like you were in the game. And games like this, games like Medal of Honor at the time, they didn't quite pick up on that. And they just had these clunky movements that just, it didn't feel like you were in there. And you should never feel frustrated with the movement of your avatar or character, whatever you want to call the soldier that you're playing. You should never feel frustrated by his movement. It should feel fluid. And the more that games move forward, the more innovations that developers come up with to help you do that, to make it feel more fluid, to make it feel like you're in the game. Battlefield is a great example now with their vaulting movement that they have added to Battlefield 3. It's stuff like that that really feels awesome when you're in the game. You pick up on that right away. And when you were playing Medal of Honor at this time compared to Call of Duty at this time, it felt like taking a step backward. And a lot of people just weren't willing to do that. They got into it, they're like, I don't like the way this feels. You know, and it was a shame because there was a lot to enjoy in this game, and just having something so basic turn people off right from the start, I think, was one of their biggest problems. Now, map design is another thing that I think was a big problem. And not just because of the spawns. The spawns were a huge issue. We'll talk about that in a second. But just map design in general. It felt like there were a lot of protruding objects and stuff that I would get caught on and not understand why. There would be a lot of areas in which I couldn't move into. It would be out of bounds, or there'd be some type of boundary system. But at the time, I didn't understand why I couldn't move in that direction. And that's bad map design. That's lazy map design. Like moving along the side right here, there should be a way to let me know you can't do this. And there's a good reason why you can't do this. Not just because it's out of bounds. You know, I like Battlefield system where it puts you, what was this guy thinking? Where it puts you out of bounds and gives you 10 seconds to come back in. At least that way, you know, you understand, okay, this isn't a good way to go because it's going to put me out of bounds, you know? And map design is something that you can make a career out of these days with these games. I mean, there's so much that goes in to a map's design. So I understand that it's difficult. I understand that there are a lot of checks to mark off, and it's not just coming up with a cool idea. I mean, there's just so much time put into map design. But guys, it's at this point where it is the standard that these things need to be taken care of, and players are not stupid. They pick up on this stuff right away. You know, they pick up on bad map design just instantly. So that's two bad things that this game had going for it right off from the bat. People didn't even get a chance to fall in love with the game before they noticed those two problems. First couple games guaranteed, they were already complaining about it. And then you had games like Call of Duty and Bad Company 2 out at the time that were two great other options. So that's what choked the life out of this game. And it wasn't just those two problems. I mean, there were more problems, more issues. I mean, the fact that there's virtually no recoil, and I can use this weapon as like it's a sniper rifle. The fact that I can see the enemy spawn in their encampment is a real issue. The fact that there was no kill cam, and you know, when you combine the fact with that there was virtually no recoil, and that you can sit there and snipe with your assault rifle, it became a real problem with camping. So there are a lot of issues that really dragged this game down, considering that Modern Warfare 2 at the time was killing it. Bad Company 2 at the time was killing it. You know, people had these two great, innovative games as other options. Why play Medal of Honor when it had those basics that had the problem wrong? So people didn't even really give it a chance. They didn't even try and fall in love with it. Look, no kill cam here. No idea where it came from. So I think some people, especially at this point in this video, are worried about the new Medal of Honor. You know, they're like, with this much wrong with Medal of Honor 2010, can I really expect that much from the new Medal of Honor? And I can tell you guys, after playing it for about 7-8 hours, I can tell you that, yes, it is worth getting. The new Medal of Honor, they took so many lessons, not just from the last Medal of Honor and what kind of dragged it down, but they've been paying attention to every other game out there. They have some serious talent on the team, and what I really like about them is that they are paying attention, they are listening, and they are actually turning it into results in the game. I mean, these are some guys that are sincerely focused on getting it right from all aspects. And another thing that I really like about Medal of Honor is that they have always been focused on telling the soldier's story in a way that is both authentic and honorable. It's one of the things that I really enjoy about this developing company, and they go through lengths to ensure that they're doing both of those things that I've never seen from any company in any industry before, ever. So I sincerely believe that this is their year to shine, especially with Call of Duty just following the same formula over and over. I'm not saying Black Ops 2 isn't going to be a great game. They do some things that I think are innovative, especially when it comes to the esports industry. But the whole Call of Duty formula, I think people are getting tired of. Battlefield 3 is kind of, winding down. I think people are ready for a new game that's looking to get it right, that's looking to bring the fun back to first-person shooters, guys. And this is Medal of Honor's year to shine. I really believe it, especially after playing the beta, especially after playing the alpha. It's a great game, guys. These were the problems with Medal of Honor 2010, but I believe they've all been rectified, and we have a lot to look forward to. Hey guys, don't forget to drop by the website, pick up your loyalty points for today. Also have 2 videos here for you to click on. One is a little guide on becoming a Maverick in Battlefield 3, really helping you kick ass in the jet. And the other is getting that L96 Specialist assignment. That's all I have for this video. This is Sergeant Merrill, out here.